You know, when I first heard about the seed system, of the idea how you can change your life using mental seeds, and then when I got used to the basic principle that everything that happens in your life as a result is in fact a result of the seeds that you planted in the past. And the flip coin of this idea is that nothing in this world in and of itself has any nature, any self nature coming from its side. So when I first heard about this basic principle of the seed system, the first feeling was a feeling of hope and the feeling of deep personal responsibility for my results, because then I couldn't find any other excuses of not changing, of keeping the same situation that was uncomfortable in my life. I really felt the power that I can really do something to change my life. And I did. I really followed the steps to plant good seeds, to follow my biggest dreams. And I'm still, even today, after more than 10 years of practicing and studying this system, I still keep following some of my biggest dreams that I have right now. And also my day-to-day activities are based on these principles. Okay, that was the positive side of seeds, of the results. But then when I ask the question, okay, what happens in the situation that we have some unwanted results, some bad experiences, or we continue to have some negative experiences in our life or in the present? Then what happens? And in that moment, it happened just like in a thriller movies where you feel the music is changing, you hear a different music, and you kind of feel that something bad is about to happen. And that is the moment when I realized, okay, same goes for the bad situations, same goes for the unwanted results that I still have them in my life, and they give me something that I don't like. So that is the moment when I started digging into the negative seeds. So hi again, I'm Octavian. If you're new to this channel, I'm a coach, and I'm happy to share in this video a method which is called the 4 powers to remove negative seeds from your mind, and also the experiences correlated in your life from those seeds. So this method, the 4 powers, it's a very straightforward. If you do this one by one, you will get more conscious and aware of what seeds you have to stop that bring you bad results, and you want to get away from those seeds. Okay, so let's start with the first one. The first power, it's called the power of foundation. And when we mean foundation, we have to just remember the Pan story, the basic principle that everything that happens in your life comes from seeds you planted in your mind by doing, by speaking, and by thinking. These are the 3 ways of planting seeds. And whenever you come to this foundation, it happens that you get more confident, you have more personal responsibility for your life, and you get hope that things can really change. Okay, you have to remember the pen story, the fact that when you look at this plastic cylinder, you see something to write, and when a dog comes into this room and looks at the same, you wiggle this in front of his eyes, it sees something different. Okay, the same thing happens with the experiences or the things that happen in your life. They don't come from themselves as a definition, as a self nature. They come from your seeds. And when you, instead of this cylinder, you put any kind of negative experience you have right now in your life, let's say maybe you have some financial situation that you want to get rid of, the whole experience comes from seeds you planted in the past. Okay, so that is the foundation. From this we have to build on to get rid of the bad experience. Then we come to the second power. And the second power is called intelligent regret. And when we say intelligent regret, we don't need to feel guilty about the situation, you know, because guilt has a certain kind of heaviness to yourself, and you feel kind of less powerful, less able to deal with the situation. So intelligent regret, it's based on the first law of seeds. That seeds, once you plant a seed, for sure it will give a similar result, good or bad, okay? So when we realize that we have some negative situations in our life, we realize that in the past, out of, let's say, the best thing that we knew at that time, we planted some bad seeds, okay? It's not, you don't have to blame yourself. It's what you knew best at that time. But you did it, you plant those seeds. And now we have an intelligent regret that those seeds might give us results, maybe today or in the future. And you feel this at least a little bit of sadness, but not guilt, okay? So that is the intelligent regret. And then we get to the third power. The third power to remove bad seeds. This is actually the power that really stops the bad seeds from growing. And it's the power of restraint, the power of stopping. And what you do this on this power, you take a commitment as much as you can, as long as you can. You take a commitment not to perpetuate the similar seed that gave you and brought you this result. So for example, if it's the financial situation you want to fix, you make a commitment not to plant bad financial seeds, seeds that can make other people lose money, for example. Or there are different correlations for this type of situation. Maybe we will talk in another video what are the correlations for financial freedom or financial life. But you take this commitment not to perpetuate bad seeds anymore, as long as you can, okay? You don't need to say to yourself, okay, from now on I will stop planting any kind of bad seeds. From starting today until the end of my life, I will never plant bad seeds. Don't do this. Stop it. Because it's almost impossible to keep this kind of promise, okay? Some seeds, some bad seeds, some negative seeds are even for 5 seconds are hard to stop. For example, if you have a anger situation, anger issues with someone, if that person entered your room, opened the door and that person entered into your room, you might feel instantly the sense of anger or some feeling that you don't like about this person. Or if it's something about an addictive behavior of yours. For example, when I was smoking many years ago, even though I smoked half an hour ago, whenever I was walking through an office and saw some cigarettes laying on a desk, immediately in my mind the seed opened and said, oh, look, in that piece of paper cylinder lays my relaxation or a good feeling that I was looking for whenever I was smoking. So there are some bad seeds that even for 5 seconds it's enough to put a stop. And what is happening here in the third power is that you actually don't feed the bad seed anymore. You don't feed those weeds, okay? It's the same as a weed when you take it out of the ground and you lay it down on a stone, on an asphalt. It will still grow a few hours because it still has some sunlight and still has some humidity inside, but then it will wear out and it will stop growing, okay? The same here happens, but with the seeds in our mind. And for the third power, we don't feed the seeds with our attention, because feeding the seeds, the bad seeds, it's all about how you put your attention. And if you put the attention, your mind, if you put your mind on those bad seeds, that means you give them water and they will continue to be present in your mind and as a perception in your life. And then we come to the fourth power, and which is the power of the antidote. And the antidote is simple, very simple. It's basically it's an opposite seed, opposite from the negative one you perpetuated in the past. So if you can imagine, you need to do the balance, because maybe in the past the balance was tilted towards the negative perception, and now doing the exact opposite, you tilt the balance, and then you maybe tilt it in the other direction, in the positive side. So you just think about what could be a positive seed that you can perpetuate in order to recover the balance of perception in your life, okay? So the four powers, these four powers, this method of getting rid of the bad seeds from your mind, actually what it does, it makes them open faster, okay? In this system, in the seed system, it's not possible to just take the bad seeds away from your mind and wipe them away and get rid of them, and yeah, like this you are free and clean. It's not possible. Whatever thing you planted in the past, whatever you said, whatever you did and whatever you thought, those actions leave imprints in your mind, and for sure they will give a result at some point in your life. So this method of getting rid of the bad seeds makes them open faster. So the bad ones will open faster, and the result will be much less than if they stayed in your mind, in your subconscious. They grew and you gave them water and feed them with your attention until the day comes, then they give a very big and unpleasant result. So what might happen if you do these four powers? What might happen is that in the next day, or the hours after you do this type of practice, it might happen that you might get a negative result, or some small disaster, we say it. Something similar but much smaller will happen in your life. For example, you might get a headache, you might get something yells at you, but you don't mind. You realize that it's cleaning the seed. The seeds are cleaned and they open faster, and the mind is getting cleaned at that moment of those negative seeds. And you feel a sense of relief. This is how you know when the bad seed is gone. If the bad seed is still present in your mind and something bad happens the next day, you will have the perception in your mind that you feel bad. You will feel a bit upset after those bad experiences. But if you have some small bad experiences, but in the second moment you feel, okay, let's move on, it is what it is, that is the feeling that the bad seed is cleaned. It just opened and the mind is now free of that bad seed. So take a negative experience or negative result or unwanted result you have right now in your life and apply these four powers. And let me know in the comments how it goes. And if you have some questions about each and every one of these four powers, please comment and let me know. And until next time, take care.